All right, so we're back. I said 2 minutes, but it really probably was 90 seconds. Excellent. So here we've got a, what is this? Blurry link is broken link. uh, Chat, it's going to be very challenging to keep up, but y'all keep doing your thing, and I'll catch up when I can. But here we've got Koppel, who's one of the lead maintainers for a little project called Supabase. Do you want to say hello?
Hey guys, yeah, nice to meet everyone here.
Excellent. And you're actually calling in from pretty far away from me.
Yeah, if you can see my window, it's dark outside, so I'm calling in from Singapore, actually.
Excellent. And your Singapore accent is it's quite different.
It's not as Singaporean as most. It's got a twinge of Kiwi, New Zealand accent, but yeah, I've been here for a couple of years now, so I've got a bit of Singlish under my belt now.
Oh, excellent. Very cool. Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat and they're correcting me. It looks like the the Bitly link. But yeah, so Singapore is actually it's a place where it's pretty. I don't know if it's diverse. There's a lot of people who come in and out there, right? Is it a pretty vibrant community?
Yeah, I mean, usually it is, right? It's kind of a stopping ground where people are coming through, but it's kind of, yeah, it's like a tropical paradise. It's got a sort of fledgling startup scene. Actually, it's getting pretty good now. So yeah, plenty of startups here, plenty of people stopping in to, roam around Southeast Asia, which has got lots of islands and nice places if you're a digital nomad. So yeah, it's quite a cool place to live.
Excellent. Yeah, so let's talk about I guess Superbase and like one what your involvement is with Superbase, how it got started, and then also what is Superbase?
Yeah, well, I can start with what is Supabase, probably the
Yes.
most interesting part. Supabase is an open source Firebase alternative. So we're building the features of Firebase, but we're using open source tools. We try to use existing open source tools wherever possible. So we try to identify a nice, scalable, enterprise grade open source tool for one of the features that Firebase has, and then we wrap the easiness of Firebase around that one. So that's most prominent in our database system, which we started with. We chose Postgres, which of course is a relational database rather than NoSQL. But then we have a bunch of other things. So we've got auth as well that we released just recently, and we'll be building out quite a few features using open source tools. Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
for myself,
Yeah.
yeah, as you say, I'm a maintainer, but I'm also the CEO of the company. We are well, we will be more commercial. We went through YC this year, so we'll be monetizing at the end of this year. But right now we're in alpha, so everything's free. Everyone should check it out because you get free Postgres databases.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I've been eyeing it pretty closely as well. It's been a while since I've used. Actually, no, I use Postgres database all the time. But yeah, it's been a while since I spun a new one up
Yeah.
recently. But always looking for reasons to have side projects. And I love the free tiers, like being able
Yeah.
to work on stuff. But I think another cool benefit is that like the fact that it is open sourced and that you can actually see what's happening in there. And so if you're going to trust your data to somewhere, at least um, what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing that we haven't open source so far is our dashboard that we're pulling up. So if you go on, actually, you can use it. I put a little YouTube sort of demo in the chat if people want to watch, but you can use it. It's got like an Airtable view, sort of built on top of Postgres. It's got a SQL editor. It's got all the auth. Yeah, there's a nice little video there.
So this
That one actually is quite cool. You build a Slack clone because, of course, one of the key features of Firebase is that it's real time. And this is how Supabase started. Actually, we were using Postgres. We were using Firebase in my previous startup, and I had some scaling issues, so I migrated it over to Postgres. And in the process of actually implementing the the features, we built a real-time layer on top of Postgres. So we listened to the real-time replication stream of Postgres, and then we blasted it out over WebSockets. So we offer this now on Supabase, and you can see, in this demo here, we auto-generate the docs. You can deploy. We've got front-end examples that you can deploy to Vercel, and then you'll actually end up in this demo. We deploy a Slack clone, fully functional, and it's real time, so you can chat with your friends across the world and see the updates coming in real time. And it's got auth built into it. We use Postgres row level security. Really, it's quite full featured now. After a year of building.
Yeah, and you said a year of building.
Yeah, not even a year actually. We started in January this year. Started the company, but really started building the hosted platform about 7 months ago now. Yep. It was quite funny because, of course, we got into YC halfway through this, and usually you spend your time sort of growing in YC, but we had an accidental launch at the start of YC. Someone put us on Hacker News.
Oh, nice.
It was quite popular, but everyone in the comments was asking for auth, and which we didn't have at the time. So we spent all of the time in YC just building, and we built auth and released it about 3 weeks before we finished YC. Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. How did the link get discovered? Were you like doing like an alpha and then someone just sort of dropped it?
Yeah, we had sort of alpha. At that stage, we had probably around 40 signups or something. It was just small. And then actually, as an engineer from Cloudflare, sort of discovered it and just put it on Hacker News. And I've got this thing, F5 bot. It's awesome. It sort of notifies you when something, one of your keywords is on Hacker News or Reddit. And so I noticed it very early, maybe 10 minutes in. I just saw an email come in. And I actually ended up writing some comments, and it just started picking up. And actually, the guy who moderates Hacker News, Dan G, spotted it, and he just changed the title. So it became sort of like a unofficial launch. And after that, instead of shipping buggy code to sort of 40 users, we're shipping buggy code to about 1,000.
Wow.
So
I would like 1,000 users.
It was just one of those lucky things, I guess, where right place, right time. The developer spotted it, and it just filled a need.
No, I mean, this is true. There's a lot to say about sort of this scratching the right itch at the right time. I think Firebase years ago scratched the right itch for me as I was learning iOS programming, and it looks like Shai actually popped in the chat and said January feels like 17 years ago.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, so there's like a lot going on since.
Yeah, a lot has changed. Actually, so I was expecting, I sort of pitched my co-founder to come and work on Supabase, and I said, we might have to go over, hopefully we'll get into YC, might have to go over to the US. And of course, everything's changed now. Everything's remote. We get to stay in Singapore. It's actually worked out very much in our favor because we wanted to run a remote team. And convincing investors to run a remote team, I was thinking, well, that's going to be a hard prospect. But now it's just the norm. It's great.
Yeah, and so there was a plan to stay in Singapore while building this up?
Yeah, although, if we got into YC, the plan was, of course, we'd try raise from the Valley, in which case I would probably have had to have moved to the Valley for that. But COVID changed that. Now I can raise from here, and that went well. So now the plan is, we'll just be always remote. Most of the team happens to be here just because they're within our network, but we've got people in Peru, we've got some in New Zealand, had someone in London, had someone in Romania. So we're all over now.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, for someone who lives over here next to the Valley, it'd be a weird time to move here. There's not a lot of vibrant community happening right now. Good move making the move to Singapore, and then I guess getting stuck there.
Yeah, well, the only tricky thing, of course, is these time zones. I mean,
Yeah,
chatting to you now, it's now 11 o'clock, and then most of the calls that I have with the US are sort of midnight or later. So
yeah,
I think I will move somewhere closer. We'll see.
yeah. Hawaii is nice. It is expensive though.
That's true. Yeah.
So, talking about the alpha before we sort of talk into, I wanted to mention the Swim playlist as well, but
Yes.
talk about the alpha and what you're sort of working on right now. What sort of feedback are you looking for from folks as they sign up?
Yeah, so the alpha now, actually, we're getting to the tail end of the alpha.
Okay,
So largely, we are now working on stability. So coming into beta, we'll do a beta launch in December, and we're focused on three things: security, reliability, and performance. So reliability, especially in our APIs. I've just spent all the last week locking down our new developer experience around the API and how it will function, and then a lot of stability on the back end because we're a hosted platform. So, yeah, all we really want for the alpha now is people to sign up, start using us, start building. You can really build anything that you might build with Firebase with it. The only thing that I would call out as a caveat is that we only have JavaScript libraries. So you can use it with React Native, but you might have a hard time using it with any other mobile platform. Yeah. But if you're building a website or anything like that, then definitely we'd love for you to start building and just giving feedback. We've got this little feedback widget on the in the dashboard up the top right, and you can just drop a little note. Oh, not that one, but when you logged in,
oh, gotcha.
you can just drop a note, and once you do that, then we get it in our Slack and we'll message you. And actually, if you are building, I think there might be some people who are already building in here, but if there are any builders, we usually invite them into our Slack. We just have a private Slack. And so, you can chat with us directly. And if you're having any problems, we'll debug them with you.
Excellent. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, it's great for us because I mean, we want to squash these bugs, right? And we want to have 5 nines uptime and everything we
Yeah.
want to steer towards. So we actually use Supabase to build Supabase. So we sort of dog food. So what you finding bugs is helping us too for our platform. So yeah, it's great to have the community in our Slack.
Yeah, and speaking of community, Anthony, AJC Web Dev. I've never said your name out loud, but Anthony in the chats, he's part of the Redwood JS community, and he's saying they're big
Oh,
fans of Supabase as well.
yeah, I loved this because I don't know if it was Anthony, but one of them put a yeah. Actually, it was Thor who notified me of it. Just in their forum, they were mentioning, oh, we should build an auth wrapper around Supabase auth, and the discussion was going a couple of days, and then I chipped in a little bit, but then I came back maybe 3 days later, and they built it. They'd released this full wrapper around our auth. So
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool that they did that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go in and fix it up because soon we'll be releasing. We just did some updates with GoTrue,
Nice.
the Netlify auth module.
I'm very
Just did
familiar with
some.
GoTrue. I used to work at
Oh yeah.
Netlify.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
so
you?
yeah,
Okay.
I was around during the launch of that and helped out with some early guides and docs.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Yeah, actually, we hunted for a while so our auth is made up of two components, right? You got
Yeah,
the authentication to get in and then authorization on the bottom. Authorization, we use Postgres row level security. We weren't sure if we could make it work, but actually I'm really happy with how it's come out. But we hunted for a long time on just a nice, small, simple authentication open source thing. And there are some good ones out there, but they're quite heavy. And there are some new ones. And then when we found GoTrue, it sort of was the perfect one. Yeah.
excellent. Shai has got a question. Has anyone from Firebase reached out to you, and how are they feeling about Superbase?
Yeah, actually, because of YC, right?
Yeah.
Our
Wait, was
partners
Firebase
actually,
Superbase or Firebase YC?
yeah, they went through YC, I think 2013. maybe 2014. But yeah, our partners actually knew the founders quite well, so they put us in touch with James. And he was awesome, man. Like he's just he was really supportive. I thought I was even picking his brain on ways, problems that they had to overcome and ways that they could have improved. And he was basically just egoless about Firebase, just wanted to help us out. And I think that's kind of the YC community in general. They're just a bunch of entrepreneurs who want other entrepreneurs to succeed. Also, in their batch was Pars,
Oh yeah, parts, yeah.
Pars and Firebase came out at the same time, and so they were kind of doing the same thing and competing. So I chatted to them; they were also very helpful. So yeah, I think the YC community and just everyone who we've been put in touch with there has been great.
Yeah, and it's also like Firebase was acquired like what 4 years ago, so I'm pretty confident everybody who, aside from their DevRel person that I know of, most of the folks have moved on to their next and bigger things. So I'm not sure how much overlap really at current Firebase Google there is from the original founding team. But now the question is, has Google reached out? Which I guess you don't have to answer if you're in nice good talks with them.
There no. So a lot of the strategics have we've had conversations, but we just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
At the moment, actually, we've got a hosted platform, and we plan to allow you to bring your own cloud. And one of the keys to that will be that you can bring any type of cloud. Will be multi-cloud if you want it. So they might try, I guess, snap us up, but part of our philosophy is, open source and working across all the clouds. So at this stage, we're just, definitely not interested in anything strategic.
Yeah, and that's like one thing that I think Parse actually went to Facebook, right? Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, so like the one thing that I remember distinctly, and like if I go back at the memory lane a bit, at the time that Firebase was acquired, and Firebase also acquired DivShot, which is a hosting platform. What I'm getting at is the open source thing is really key, because when DivShot got acquired by Firebase and then eventually Google, they basically shut down the actual platform, which encouraged everybody to move off, which is why this is why I work at Netlify, but also why I was an early user of Netlify, because I had to find a solution somewhere else. So like hearing that Supabase is open source, knowing that even if Google reaches out after this conversation, which congratulations, but it sounds like that's not going to be something you're interested in. But if that did happen, I would have confidence that I can migrate my data in my Postgres database along for the ride somewhere else.
Yeah, well, that's the key thing with us. I mean, it's just Postgres, and we, have always had the pool that we can modify the Postgres, but no, we've always made sure that it's just Postgres underneath. So you literally just do a PG dump on your database. If anything happened to us, you just PG dump your database, take it to your nearest provider, and all the tools that we use are open. So, and all the tools that we use are not only open, they're Apache 2 or MIT. So yeah, they're pretty safe. It's safe that, if you're using us, then you're not going to be locked in. Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. And so I wanted to talk about folks. How do you get started? Or we showed the Slack clone. I believe that's what was on the screen previously in the YouTube video. There is, if you check out the Swimm channel, there is which I love the name Swimm. It just if you really, I'm a bit of a punny person, so like the puns are thick when it comes with the swimming with the Swimm team. But I did want to point out that the Swimm team does have a Supabase playlist that they can show and link there. So if you haven't dropped in, Jason for dropping the Discord link. If you haven't jumped into Discord, jump into Discord, ask questions about Swimm. You can also come here, ask questions about Supabase here, which Paul has the content here for you. And Omer's got actually a question. While you're in Singapore, I'd check out Wired Man, by the way. It's a wonderful place.
Yeah. Which one is it?
Wired Monkey.
Wired monkey. Okay. I haven't heard of that one. Okay.
Have to give it a little search. Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. And then Jay actually popped in saying that one of his favorite cities in Singapore was, I don't know if I'll, Clark Kwai.
Kwai?
Yeah. I don't quite understand how to pronounce that out loud, or if that's a city, or if that's food. Maybe it's a food.
Unfortunately, I can't read the text, but yeah, maybe Quay. Clark Key.
Key.
Clark Key.
Oh,
okay,
man.
so
Apologies.
he okay, probably like to go drinking there. That's at nighttime it's a great spot actually, but during the day it's beautiful as well. So actually all of that, so you can see that the river just goes through down to the ocean. So I mean, yeah, Singapore is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's quite small as well, so you can get around everywhere. Yeah, basically, if anyone wants to come to Singapore, I'll show them around. It's drop in, let me know. We'll grab a beer somewhere, and yeah, you can literally just get a train around, be from one side to the other in less than an hour, I think.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. Greenstone's asking if it's safe to Google during live streams, and of course, always safe to Google. I'm not embarrassed of my search history.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. So, any other tips and tricks? We talked about the Slack clone. Any other guides that you want to talk about for folks to sort of get started and jump in with Supabase?
Yeah, I think maybe just worth pointing out the GitHub on our GitHub. You can see the link up on the top. Yeah, or Supabase.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a link right here that I could also click.
Yep. Then we've got discussions there if you want to use them to ask any questions at any stage. Of course, I'll be in the Discord for a while. But also, if you go back to the repo, there's some examples in the examples folder. I think there's like a nice small to do, and the Slack clone is also in there. And we'll be building up a few of these. So probably we'll drop the Redwood example in there at some stage as well. So
excellent. Yeah. Well, you and Anthony need to connect, and it sounds like Thor's pretty connected as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check it out. And then of course, check out Swimm, folks. Like if you want to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, Discord, then the link is there, and there's a nice Vue Swimm playlist. It'll create a to-do app using Vue, which is cool.
Yeah, and if you're in the Discord, inside the announcements section, there's instructions how to download and install Swimm. I think it's also linked a couple different other places. So folks, jump in, feet first with Swimm, Supabase. Koppel, appreciate your time and being willing to stay up so late with this conversation.
Sweet.
As he's mentioned, he'll be in the Discord as well. And Omer, thanks for linking that directly as well. He'll be in the Discord answering questions about Supabase and the Swimm playlist. So say hello and yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Nice. Thanks, Dougie. Okay. Catch ya.
See ya. All right. So we're going to transition to our next speaker, which I think we do have ready to go. Samson is coming in from Nigeria, and he's been part of OS Africa for a bit. He has a pretty impressive story of how he got involved in open source.